Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, Liberians, wherever you are. I want to say good day. I want to speak and say thank you. I'm asking to share this video as much as you can. It's going to be an interesting topic today. We are still looking at our educational policy, and it's going to be interesting. I want you to invite a friend, share the video. In the meantime, let me play some music.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stand. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful home. Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Oh, sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Unify and have a peaceful home. Change is all we need to make it stand. Let's unify and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is my home. And let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home we have. Say sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is my home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only, the one and only, the one and only. Sweet Liberia. Whoa, love is all we need to make it stand.
Again, this is Benson Mason again, your boy, your host, the guy who's there to make something sound good. Keep listening to this next music. I hope that is
I know, I will spoil your love. Every day, I will spoil your love. From Monday to Sunday, I will spoil your love. From Monday to Sunday, I will spoil your love. Single mode, original man. Single mode, original man. Do the good, do the jump on, do the good, do the jump on. Hey, I said, I was looking for now I can name it. For the way I find you, I will spoil you in love. Oh, you did it for me. I will hold you, stay with you, compare you, get me to the love. Today, you will come and talking say, I don't know, I was for you in love. Every day say, I was for you in love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you in love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you in love. Say no more, you know me. Say no more, you know me. Do the good now, do the true down, do the good now, do the true down. You love it, no, Papa. You love it, no, Papa. I'll go you find my way, Love in my kitchen, Nana in my bathroom, kitchen, up in my house, developing. I'm not saying you like I'm just making a case in the walk in case it can. I will not be nothing. I was for you, love my baby. I will say that I will not spoil you. I say I'm on la 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 la. You my one kid, my one kid, my one kid. I say beauty, big song. I know I was for you, love. Every day say I was for you with love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you with love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you with love. Say the more, you know me. Say the more, you know me. Do the good now, do the true down, do the good now, do the true down. Yeah, yeah, I get close. You're like a moon, like a banana. Only to that, I guess I'm cool. I won't marry you. Let us see, I'm telling you. Cantamos, no tiene, cantamos, no pone, mandamos, dice el viaje, un otro play. I was for you love. Every day say I was for you love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you love. Say the more, it's in the middle. Say the more, it's in the middle. Do it good, yeah. Do it true down. Do it good, yeah. Do it true down. Love it is no, Papa. Love it is no, Papa. Away from my way, away from my way, I don't know, I was for you love. Every day say I was for you love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you love. From Monday to Sunday, I was for you love.
Good evening, guys. How you doing this evening? I will be having a great time. Welcome, welcome. Share the video. Join somebody. Somebody tired of talking. About one in about the next 3 minutes, we're gonna start this show and keep it rolling.
From Monday to Sunday, I was for you love. Say the more, it's in the middle. Say the more, it's in the middle. Do it good now, do it true down. Do it good now, do it true down. Love it is no, love it is no, away from my way, away from my way, Timon Stereo, yeah man, you boy, watch your finger, come on.
Yes, yes, my good old people. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. We again have gathered. We will be looking and talking. We are here again one more day, and I'm hoping and trusting that I'll be able to consistently present these shows, these talking points. Um, Today we are looking at the educational policies and educational laws. Remember, I am in chapter 2 of the Constitution, and in chapter 2 of the Constitution, it talks about the guideline, the basic foundation or the fundamental guidelines for all the policy. We are discussing this. We are discussing this time. I'm only on Article 6, and I'm going in detail because I want us to understand where we go and how we hold our government responsible. Government comes out with policy, and those policies described and prescribed for us what are expected of the government. And it's based on those policies that we hold the government accountable. We hold the government responsible for the provision of those things to better our life. Remember, we are a country because we want to improve the livelihood of every individual. We are a country who, who should be united for progressiveness, for moving forward, not for just being a group of people. And today, I am back in chapters in I am back in the Constitution, and I am again discussing the the the, the factors that are that are important to us. And the factors that I think is important to us is the value that we attach to the Constitution. What value do we attach to the Constitution is what we'll be discussing. We'll be looking into it. We're going to make sure that we dive into every part of that Constitution. We're going to be here discussing it. We're going to have a number pretty much early where you can call and make your contribution, ask your question, so that we all can learn together. And when we learn together, we will be able to move forward as a country because it is easy. People don't realize the importance and the relevance and the significance of education. But when we go through these things, you'll be able to pick it up. And when you pick it up, you'll be able to move forward with it because it is very necessary that we move forward with our constitution. It is very important that we move forward with our constitution. It is very important that we move upward and explain those things that need to be explained. Let's go now and take a look at Article 6. You know, I'm interested in education. That's a bedrock of my livelihood. I love education. It is very good for us to be educated. It is essential for us to be educated. So let me bring up something for us to kind of see. Uh, Now, let me blow it up a little bit more. This is the bedrock of our discussion today. The Republic shall, because of vital role assigned to the individual citizen under the Constitution for the social, economic, and political well-being of the country, provide as equal access to educational opportunities and facilities for all citizens to the extent of available resources. Keep those two words in mind, available resources. And also keep this in mind, this last part, the emphasis. Emphasis shall be placed on mass education of the Liberian people and the elimination of illiteracy. Keep that thing in mind. Available resources and mass education and elimination of illiteracy. Those are three phrases that I'm going to be using repeatedly as I discuss this aspect in connection with in connection with the proposed handbill. Now, the proposed bill, educational bill by that has reached the Senate, is not in totally bad. No, totally is not wrong. No, but if you take it in parts, and you propose the bill in parts, that is going to be better than to propose that whole bill. As the whole bill stands, it is not to the betterment of Liberia. There are words that we're going to be using, and I'm going to be using them not interchangeably. I'm going to be using them individually and separately. The word educated people and the word illiterate people. Literate, illiterate, educated. Now, cut me again. I will use the word illiterate, literate, and educated. These are three distinct words, three distinct separation that people we have to adapt and understand. And we will use this word in reference to our constitution and our laws. In our laws, in our laws, we refer to people, we refer to the word illiterate, literate, and educated. An educated, an illiterate man is one who cannot read and write the given language of the people at the point at that time, the given language. If you are illiterate, like for example, let me say it again. If you are illiterate, you cannot read and you cannot read and write, given speak the language of the region at that point at the time. So you are illiterate. So if you are taken to China and you have a doctorate degree and you cannot read and write Chinese and cannot speak Chinese, you are illiterate. The people consider you illiterate. Why? Because you cannot speak their communicative language. If you are carried to France and you cannot speak French, you cannot read French, you cannot write French, you are illiterate because the society is a French-speaking society. You are illiterate given that language. In Liberia, our medium of communication is English. And because it's English, we cannot read. If you cannot read or write English, you are considered illiterate. You are considered illiterate. If you cannot speak, read, or write standard English, you are considered illiterate. On the other hand, if you can speak, read, and write English, you are considered to be literate. But because you are literate means you are educated. That's a fact. Not because you are literate means you are educated. If you are literate, it simply means that you can read with comprehension, you can write or legibly, and you can speak fluently English. That's what it means. That means you are literate. When you are educated, means that your level of education is not only limited to reading and writing, but you have excelled to another level, which means you have a degree. Or you are educated, you can be illiterate and be educated in a trade. For example, you cannot read and write, but you could be a good mechanic, a good carpenter, a good masoner, a good you could be good in different things. You could be good. You could be educated in agriculture and be progressive. In that situation, you are educated, but you are illiterate. You are educated in a vocation, but you are illiterate. You cannot read and write. You cannot hardly even read and write or communicatively. So you are illiterate because you cannot read and write. But you are educated because you have a focus of your education that is specific. So education does not mean literacy, and literacy does not mean education. So I'm not going to use them interchangeably. I'm going to use them with specific reference. Anytime I refer to somebody as educated, I am talking educated with specific or focus. Either I be talking educated in schooling, or what we call quote unquote Western education, or I will speak of you as educated in specific vocation. When I speak of literacy, I'll be talking of people who can read and write. And I'll be talking about people who can read and write English, our medium of communication. So let's get that off and let's get that one crossed. So in that situation, I am obviously fluent on that. So then, what am I going to in this situation? We are talking about the country being responsible to have us educated, to the country being responsible for our education, in that it must make it accessible and it must make it available to us. Now, the Constitution set the bottom line here. The Constitution first say it should be to available resources. You know, I have spent a lot of time today going through it, and our educational laws. Our educational law is Chapter 26 of the Executive Law, which is also called Title 10 of a Liberian Code of Law Revised. Now, when you look at the law, you come to realize that the government, in the policy of the Executive 26, the government in the latest edition, which is the 2000, in the 2011 Act. You see, I'm going to flow through. Here it is. In the 2011, the law was reformed. It was amended, and in this amendment, it brought a lot of things out. And this law is for the education ministry. Look, people, we will even bring out our education ministry. We're going to bring the education ministry into focus as well, because this law established, this establishment of the education ministry by this law gave the education ministry a lot of responsibility. And before people start to think, you have to put your mind into focus. Put your mind into focus. What are we thinking? What are we talking about? And where are we going? Where I'm going today is based on Article 6, but it's really perfect in the laws, the Chapter 26 of our Liberian law. The House, the Senate is presently discussing the proposed bill from the representative. And in my mind, I hope that they stop and send to the representative so that the representative can give the facts and figure when it comes to statistics. The bill talks about free education for tertiary public schools, which means anything above secondary school that is public, that is government sponsor, will be free education, which means anybody graduating from high school can go to school without paying any fees. That's good. I don't think it's wrong. No, but I think the timing is wrong. It's good. I don't think it's wrong, but the timing is wrong. Why I say the timing is wrong? The first thing we need to do is to go back to the law. The law says that Liberians should benefit from quality education. Quality education. We need to qualified our education. We need to first qualify our education, make it of the quality for competitive nation worldwide. We need to make it competitive. How is our education? And that I'm not talking about our tertiary education. No, I'm talking about our primary and secondary education. There where I'm focusing on. That's my drive. Let me find something here that we can read and notice here. In this preamble of the law of chapter 26, the first paragraph restates Article 6 of the Constitution. It restates Article 6 of the Constitution. After restating the article, it goes down. It goes down in the next following and subsequent paragraph. It goes to explain. And what does it say? It says, whereas the government of Liberia realized that education facilitated poverty reduction, and is essential for the development of the individual citizen and and national growth, and that education, especially, this is where I want you to stick with me, especially basic education. It's not saying anything, it's especially business basic education. What is basic education? Basic education is the education you acquired between preschool and high school. That's basic education. That basic education means you are equipped with everything to make a decision for how you want to work in your government, how you want to work in your country, what you want to do to to help your country excel. That's the basic. Basic is the beginning education. And the beginning education is why? Because it equips people with what? Relevant skill to participate in essential economic and social activities of the nation. So let's go to the to the basic education. If basic education is not free, if basic education is not qualified, what will you do with higher education? Higher education will just be a watered down education. My point, my focus in that thing, in that, I agree with the law that will state that for now, the government must pay, or the government should pay the WIAC fee for the students in 12th grade. I agree. In ninth grade, I agree. I agree with that. But to say tertiary education should be free when tertiary education is not qualified, then it is not to the benefit of the country. It is not to the benefit of the country. I heard, since, I'll tell you the truth, I've always said this and I will always say it. When President Weah announced his free tertiary education a couple of years ago, I was one person who was shocked by people rejoicing, because what good is it if the University of Liberia is free, but the quality of the education of the University of Liberia is not up to par with that of neighboring country? What is it? You have people in the University of Liberia who are acquiring mass knowledge. They are acquiring, but they are not acquiring what need to be acquired for the progress of the state. Why? Because the people are not getting what they need to get. They're not getting it. They're not. And that's the problem. We feel good with we feel good with free things, even though the free things are not beneficial to us in the long run. So I'm of the opinion that we need to qualify our education. One. Now, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Remember, that's the preamble. The preamble. If you drop your eyes down from there and you go down to the fourth paragraph, down here, you have to see that they say, whereas the government of Liberia believes. You see, the government of Liberia believes. What does the government of Liberia believe? The government of Liberia believe in education, but they believe that education promotes teamwork and national unity. It promotes teamwork and national unity. If it promotes teamwork and national unity, then we need to what? Qualify it. We need to work on it. We want people to be united. We want people to work as a team. We want to develop our patriotism and nationalism in the people. We need to educate the people, but we need to qualify the education. How do you make it more practical? How do you make it more practical? Okay, how do you make it more practical? That is the bottom. That is the bottom line of it. Okay, that is the bottom line of it. We need to move our country forward. Again, drop your eye down to 6. Remember, everything I'm talking about is based on the fact that we are talking about basic education, but we are talking about quality of the basic education. We are not talking about the quantity of the basic education. We are talking about the quality of the basic education. Okay? We are talking about the quality of the basic education. That is the bottom line of what we need to do. We need to have equality.
The quality of our education is what we need to focus on. Is our education focusing on the quality? Do we see ourselves? Do we see our education as being qualified that we can compete with our neighboring people? This is what I am basically against the payment of school fees for higher education for people in universities. I believe that if we will eradicate and fight against illiteracy, we must go down to the people, to go down, not up the stream. Up the stream is education, down the stream is what we're talking about early childhood education, primary education, that is early childhood between the age of 3 and 5. Primary education, we're talking basically between the elementary education from 6 to 12, and then we're talking about the junior high education from 12 to 15, and then high school education from 15 to 18. Now, these are things that concerns me, the quality of the education that we are talking about. Okay, now let's be clear about it. It makes no sense. I could be wrong, and I would like to be corrected by anybody, but it makes no sense to decide to support your child when your child is a full grown man, whereby you say I'm not supporting him when he's a baby. The objective, uh, 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 this law say the objective of this act are to govern and regulate the education system in the delivery management system and encompasses the following: to ensure the provision of quality education. Then let me talk about it. That's what the law say. Quality education for all citizenry. Quality education. So look, our government should not, our people should not play on us. You know, you said there and you say, yes, Tifa is great. I agree, Tifa is good. He's a good man. He has a good heart. But his focus right now should not be on tertiary. Let him focus on the primary, the putting schools in districts. I just read that you have in the same thing, they said there should be at least one junior high school in every district. You talk about 20,000 persons to a district, which of course we have another day in another word. 20,000 persons to a district. Now, is it 20,000 eligible voters? So let's take it as 20,000 eligible voters. If you got 20,000 eligible voters in that district, what do you think is the population of that district? What do you think is the population of that district? Taking into consideration of the district is age 8, of eligible voters is from 18 upward. If you take from 18 up are eligible voters and you got 20,000 persons in the district 18 upward, that district is between the ages of 18 and 3. How many persons in the district is in that age of 18 and 3? Let's say if you consider that 1/3 of that district is made out of people between the age of 18 and 3, then basically you are talking about the neighborhood of about 6 to 7,000 students. 6 to 7,000 students in that district in the ages of 18 to 3. This is a random number. It's not a precise number. Okay, so we're talking about 7,000, 6 to 7,000 students or children in the age group to go to school, and the government is only going to provide one elementary school, or one junior high school for that. So let's make another assumption that in that group you are talking about the age junior high school. We're talking about the ages between the ages of 12 and 15. So how many percent of that 7,000 is in the age of 12 and 15? So let's make it an equal proportion. Let's just make it an equal proportion, and let's assume that you got 2,000 students in the age of 12 to 15. Or if you want to, let's take it as a 25%. 25% of 7,000, you basically talking about 1,750 students. So you got 1,750 students within junior high school age. And the government is saying that they can only afford to have one junior high school in the district. Now let us also take into consideration the 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 land capacity, okay, the area covered by that district. So if the area if the area is compact, basically you're talking about covering about what, 3 to 4 or 5 miles radius. If it's a 5 mile radius, what are you going to do? You're going to have all the schools, you're going to have one school to take care of 1,750 students that the government can pay for. And if we take into consideration the private schools in the area and those who can afford to send their children to private school, good. Then again, we're gonna be cutting that number down, but yet and still you're gonna have up to about 1,000 students. You're gonna have at least about 1,000 students to go to the junior high school. So how can you put one junior high school into a district? One junior high school to a district, one government junior high school to a district, and you think it's, and if the government junior high school must meet standard, then that means that school must be well built. It must be well built to accommodate 1,000 students. Now, that's how many teachers will the 1,000 students take? If we average on the fact that we're talking about 25, or let's make it 40 students per teacher. If we're looking at 40 students per teacher, basically you are talking about what? That's 10. That's 400. That's 10 teachers to 400. So you're talking about basically 50 students. I mean 50 teachers. 50 teachers. That's what you're looking at for restricted to that school. Just that school alone. Now we're going to add administrators, laboratory. Oh, we can do that because the current school we got do not even have laboratory, do not have libraries. So how can we say we want to elevate the upper level when the lower level has not been elevated, have not been qualified? How can you do that? So we need to go back. Like I said, Tifa has a good heart. He's thinking on the people, but Tifa, you gotta think on the people, not in terms of vote, because this is where I'm prone to believe this betterment of the education system is for votes. Come 2023, you want vote, you want to be re-elected. It's a vote come 2023. How can you want vote come 2023? How can you say you want vote come 2023 by putting a wrong system in play? So hey, I for you guys to go to school free, but the other senators and the other legislatures said no. Why did they say no? Because the bill is a vote bill. It's not a progressive bill. It's a vote bill. It's a bill for votes. It's not a bill for the people to be. It's not a bill to eliminate illiteracy. I still remember back when they had an illiteracy program, even on the radio, teaching people how to speak English, and have people. Oh yes, I still remember that girl. I think she's the same one who had in the national election. They had a brother who no, it wasn't her. It was Shanna. They were teaching illiteracy program on TV as well, and they had a literacy program in the community in different schools. They had nice school for people who could not afford to go to day school because they had to work. Now, these are educational endeavors. These are things that we need to reawaken our education. Look, democracy cannot strive in illiteracy. It's not going to be progressive in illiteracy. Democracy can only be progressive with education. Why? Because when the people can read and write, when the people are literate, okay, and when I say education, I mean basic education which eliminates illiteracy. Basic education which eliminates illiteracy. In basic education, people learn to read. People learn to read with comprehension. People learn to write. People learn to articulate their views. And that is in basic education. So we need to promote basic education. We need to tell people, look, it's time for you to go to school. You go to school. It does not mean that it's not. Look, let me see. Somebody is making a statement here, and I would like to find that statement. I wish I could. Let's see. Somebody saying something. They say, if the government declare university education free, does it mean it won't be credible? What if professors are well paid and schools are well funded? Are you and who are from you are one of the many wicked nightmare of Liberia. You see, you just said if. And if we go to the word if, it's a conjunctional word. The government, for the past 3 years, the government declared university education free. Is tell me the update of the library. Tell me the update of the laboratory. Tell me the update. When you come to speak to me, don't speak to me in calling me wicked nightmare. I'm not a nightmare. I'm just stating the mere fact. Go to the University of Liberia. See how much what has been done there. Have you provided a technological education for the people? Can somebody be on the University of Liberia and access the internet 24/7? Do you have library that the people can go to the library? Can the science students go to the laboratory? You see, when you decide to do it, first standardize it. The first thing you need to do before you make it free, the first thing you need to do before you make it free is to uplift it. Put it into the quality range. Let the education be quality. When you qualify the education and you say, look, now we have the education qualified. Let's see how much we can make it affordable for the people. When you qualify the education and you make it affordable, then you sit down and say, okay, let's see if we can make it free. How can we do it to make it free? Then you start eliminating what you want to make free. You have those things? No. You do not have a well equipped, standardized or technical lab. Before I say a laboratory, you have people. You got people doing engineering. Put jump them in a lab and throw cement to them. Let them analyze that cement. Do you have this? Do you have the master to analyze cement? Do you have the ability to analyze things that you want to be analyzed? No. Right now, you said all you're doing, Amadou, is just throwing something out. Don't throw it out. Reason. Use your head and think. It is better for the things to be it is far better for the things to be qualified. High school, you can take people from high school right now. The last time the president said that a lot of Liberians did well in the national exam, and I said yes, that was good. The question is, where do you find those people that did well in the national exam? Where most of them coming from the government institution? No, most of them came from the private sectors. Why? Because the private sector invested their time. They got money to invest their time into it. The public schools, he went walking around to the public school, and you saw the public school for what it looks like. And now you're going to come back and say and call somebody wicked for saying the truth? My brother, I pity the condition. I attended the University of Liberia. I'm a proud product of Lawson Thunderbird. When I graduated, things were not at its peak. Things were not always flourish. No. Sometimes we had to go beyond to just get books, textbooks to do research. You had to spend money and hours on internet looking for paper, and imagine people who did not have, who could not afford. And then you said now here to talk to me about when I talk to having the education qualified. Let me tell you something. I'm not speaking dummy thing. Let me go down in the law. The same law that created these things, they all there. I'll carry you down. You see, I hate when people try to want to think and play sentimental rules and games with me. I'm not blaming it. I'm just saying that we need to focus far much more on a better situation than what we are on now. Because why? Because it's better to have a good education system. And I still remember in the time past when people used to come to Liberia for schools. Okay? I still remember those times when people used to come to Liberia for schooling. And why? Because we have a good education system. Okay? We had a good education system. Now, you just sitting there and you trying to make mockery of the Liberian education system. I won't take that from anybody. I don't care who you are. Okay? I don't care what you want to say. Okay? But for what you say, actually, if it has to be derogatory, I will come against it, and I will school you in the things that are better. Look at look at what the law says here. The ministry shall comprise of department, and each department shall be organized into a bureau. Each bureau shall be headed. Is that what I want? No, let me go back up to one. Let me see. 2.1. Let me go back up to one. Yeah, that's not what I want. Okay, good. 2.2. Okay, you see, the ministry shall have the following function: provide and ensure the provision of what? Quality education. Am I the one talking about quality education? Quality education. That's another thing. That's not me who says it. That's the thing. They said that the ministry shall function to develop and sustain education system. Education system. Am I the one talking about it? No. What is education system? Education system says you go up and come down, or you come down and go up. Okay. Look at this one here. The function is to reduce illiteracy by providing what? Quality education. Okay? And then you're sitting down there, I don't know what you're sitting down there reading, or I don't know what you're looking at. The quality of education is to reduce illiteracy. Reduce illiteracy. We have not touched our illiteracy base. We're not trying to eliminate illiteracy. We are trying to decorate the Christmas tree. Why are you decorating the Christmas tree when you have not even decided to look at the roots? Okay? We need to reduce illiteracy, and that is what I am saying. We need to reduce illiteracy by doing basic education, funding basic education. We need to fund basic education. That's why we need to fund basic education. But instead of funding basic education, you are there talking about we need to look. It's nothing challenge. It's nothing, but it's challenging to just decide to look at the top level. The top level is not what is our problem. Our problem is illiteracy. Our democracy is suffering because of illiteracy. Why? People cannot afford for themselves. People sit down and they listen, and because they think somebody is educated, I mean the person have an idea to know what is good for them. No, illiteracy is our problem. We need to go back and restructure. And that's my point. Instead of passing this bill of mass illiteracy, we need to stop that bill of mass illiteracy and look at our problem and go to solve the problem. This is the form of education ministry. What is the statistic that is supporting this this thing? Let me come back to you, Amadou. Let me come back to you, Amadou. Let me come back to you, Amadou. Do you know how many persons will go to school, will attend the University of Liberia if it's free? Given, let's take currently, you have 10,000 students in the University of Liberia. And let's look at the statistics of the teachers to student ratio. Let's look at the number of teachers you got. So we take that number of teachers and compare it to 10,000. Pretty soon, you open for free education. When the enrollment doubles, have you built structures for the students? Oh no, I don't even think you went to University of Liberia. When I attended University of Liberia, as low as we used to fight for chairs. Chairs was a battle. You couldn't find chair to sit down and you go in 5 minutes late. You couldn't find chair to sit down. We sat down in halls. You go to a hall with about 100, 125 students to a teacher teaching one course. You know what that is? And if that teacher have to teach several section of that course, he have almost 1,000 students to correct papers. You know what that is? You know what that is? No, you don't. You sit down there to just talk. You sit down to talk. But yet and still, if they give you scholarship to go to a foreign university and you enter the foreign university, you sit down, you look around the thing, you have about 30 or 40, you have about probably 20 or 30 students in the class. And you say, oh, this is a small class. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. But now you want to, what are you doing to standardize it? What is the standardization for that group? Okay? I'm not talking, I'm reading the law. These are law. I'm pointing you to the law. That's the law. I'm not the one who making the law. I'm just reading, telling you what is in the law. I'm reading and telling you what's in the law, what the law says. I didn't make these laws. I'm only talking about it. Now, let's look at the education code again. The Liberian, chapter 26, the Liberian Educational Law, 3.37, the one that formed the Education Ministry, mandate and core function of the Bureau, basic and secondary education. Okay, look at it. What it says. What is it? To ensure the effective monitoring and reviewing of content pedagogies, access, gender equality, control, and program of basic education. It goes to the point where it tells you that the education from primary and from preschool needs to be free. Is it free? Is it free? My brother, you got to understand the logic. You cannot make the school free before you make it quality, before you improve the quality. You got to improve the quality, because when you improve the quality, it tells you how much it costs to maintain the quality. And when you maintain the quality, you know the cost of maintaining the quality, then the question of making it free come into question. Then now when you start to say, how can I make it free? How can I reduce? Because the first thing you do is that you start to reduce the fees that it will cause people to enter. You start to reduce the fees to the point where you say, okay, now I think we can run it based on this mechanism I got. Then we can run it now and run it free. But you have not even qualified it. You have not improved on the quality. You have not made many buildings. You have not made much sitting capacity. You have not employed a lot of teachers. Nothing you have done to improve the quality. But yet, instead, you talk about making it free. And when you make it free, you're not taking into consideration how many persons going to rush there. You're not thinking how many persons going to rush there because it's free. No, that is not your concern. All your concern is, let's make it free. And if we make it free, every people can go to school. And the people not even thinking, if it's free, what is going to be the quality? If it's free, what is going to be the quality? No, you're not thinking about it. So you got to think about it you got to broaden your mind. You got to broaden your mind. Okay? Secondary schools, they say you got to develop, implement all basic secondary education. That's what needs to be done. We do that. Looking to ensure that the educational program meet the requisite skills. And high school education, quest of the social. You see, people, stop and think. These are the things that your government is supposed to do. The government is not doing what it's supposed to do. The government is thinking on doing what is going to please you so that you can cast vote. Stop. Stop. Think. Think about what you want. Think about how you want it. Okay? Think about what you want. Think about how you want it. Okay? Think about what you want. Think about how you want it. Think about how you want it. This is the Liberian Constitution Forum. I'm not going to play. I'm looking at the law versus the Constitution. The Constitution says that we should do mass education based on available resources. If you got money to pay school fees and for everybody in tertiary education, that's good. But do you have? Can that? What about the lower education? What about the people who need to be literate? What about the people who need to be literate? Are you not concentrating on them? What about basic education? Are you not thinking about basic education? Why are you so much enticed and why are you so much captivated with the upper one? Simply because it's vote based. It's vote based. Why? If it's free, like Amadou will vote for anybody who passes that bill. Why? Because that's a free education. He doesn't have to pay money to go to school, so he feels good. But that's not the point. That's the point. I'm not on that. I don't care whether you do that. My point, and is you have to be able to be logical in your reasoning. Okay? You must first qualify before you let it go. You got to qualify it first. And we need to qualify our pre-education school. Look at those kids. Look at when you got kids walking the street and selling. Okay, let me show you. There's a law. There's a law. You see, I think that is 3. Is it 3.311? Let me see. I think it's 3.311. There is a law. There's a law that if you fail to send your kid to school, let me see. If you fail to send your kids to school, you can go to jail. You can be written off and come out as a misdemeanor on your record. Let me go down to 4.4. It's a difficult tax, people. Yeah, people. I'm doing this because I want us to be knowledgeable, and the only way we can hold the only way the government can hold you for your child not being in school is except the government is providing the facilities and the opportunity, and you are not taking advantage of it. But if the government is not providing the facilities and the opportunities, the government cannot hold you responsible. Okay, the government cannot hold you responsible. You see, and that's the problem. You see, I hate to say it. I hate to say it because it sometimes sounds demeaning, but it's really painful. Okay, it is really painful, and people say, "Oh well, no." It's a difficult thing when you have people just thinking, yeah, basic early education by government. Government is not making anything affordable. It's not making anything available. But yet, and still, we are there querying and running for people of the higher up. We need to revisit it. Okay, I think that's here. Okay, parental responsibility with respect to compulsory education. Compulsory education for elementary and junior high school. Yeah. They're not me who talk. They're not me who saying it. So they're your money can't again. Nothing say I hate the government. No, I am not talking about President Weah. I'm talking about the bill that they put on the floor. That's the one I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. They're not me saying it. Local A. Does the government have an ECE school, an early childhood program? No, but they say that the child must go to school between the age of 3 and 5. Provided no child shall be denied attendance into early childhood educational program. So where is the early childhood educational program? Then I mean who say so? Now look at the law here. Parental responsibility. There's education at a level. No, let me read it. Every parent shall cause every child for whom they are of whom he or she is responsible to attend school from first school day of the year in which such child reaches the age of 6 until the last school day of the year in which the child reaches the age of 18. Che, the child gotta be in school until they turn 18 years old. But the question is, where is school at? Where is the school? Where is the school? I saw my child in school. Where's the school? Okay, yeah, the school. Is it free? No, I gotta pay money. But I not get money. How will I put my child in school? And then somebody sit down and tell you, say, education, tertiary education must be free. Tertiary education must be free. If tertiary education is free, it's free. Yeah, down here. Look at the second one. It says if a child who is subject to compulsory attendance under the act is not enrolled at or fail to attend a school, the circumstances of the child absent from school shall be investigated and the appropriate step taken to remedy the situation by the nearest public school. Failing such a written notice shall be issued to the parent by the school requiring compliance with the Free and Compulsory Education. Then I mean who say Free and Compulsory Education Requirement Act. Then I mean who say that the law. Then I mean who say that the law. Now I like this one. Then I mean who writing the thing I just reading the law. Yeah, I'm reading the law. Then you want to talk to me and make plan with me for the law? You suffer, my brother, than I mean that the law. Let's say I say any parent who, with a just cause and after a written notice from the school requiring the compliance, fail to comply with the free and compulsory attendance. Then I mean fail to comply with the free and compulsory attendance requirement. And you remember that requirement that your child got to be in school from 6 years old until he turn 18. That we're talking about requirement act of this act is guilty of what? Is guilty of a misdemeanor under the penal code. Yeah. You are guilty of a misdemeanor under the penal code, which means you are guilty. You will go to jail. They can put you in jail. You are guilty. Guilty. But the thing about it is, how can you hold somebody guilty of an act if the school is not free? How can you hold somebody guilty of an act if the school is not free? If the school is not free, but you say free and compulsory attendance requirement. Now, you don't have free elementary school. You don't have a free elementary school. You don't have a free junior high school. But you say you will have a free college program. But my people, how will a man reach college if he doesn't go to primary, junior high, and senior high school? How does he reach there? Well, no, we pay you money to school for 12 years, and then we're sending you to school for 4 years free. My man, that bill, the aspect of the bill is bogus. That aspect of the bill failed to meet the standard as mentioned here. Okay? If compulsory education, as mentioned in this document, is for basic education. It's not for tertiary education. It's for basic education. Basic education. The government, look, you see, Available resources, is important. And that's the problem. If you take the available resources to take care of the decoration, it's not going to help. You got money, instead of you building the house, you decide to say, well, I will decorate it, yeah. When you finish decorating it, yeah, when you asleep, what are you decorating? Look, people, this is the bottom line of my argument. Qualified first. Qualified, let's qualify our education system. Let's qualify our education system. Let's make it of a quality that can be proud. Look, you got high schools. You got high schools that are operating in Liberia without a library, without a laboratory. They're teaching science and math. And then we say, oh, the schools are not. It's us. It's us. When the education ministry looked at a school and gave that school a permit and accreditation to operate as a high school, that school should have all the details of a high school. It should have all. It should have everything that makes a high school a high school. But if the education ministry makes you a high school when you are short of the demands of the necessities, then why? Then what are you doing? Watering down. You got schools that don't even have a yard for the kids to play in. So they got to run on the streets. And cars hit people. What do you say? Who do you hold? Who do you hold? Okay? You got to be able to standardize the school. You got to be able to standardize the school based on its security as well. Look, I do not have, the problem is not with the entire bill. The problem with the bill, part of that bill that say you need to have, we need to make tertiary education free. That's the problem I got with that bill. Tertiary education shouldn't be free. And the reason is that's not all tertiary education is necessity, is a necessity to the government right now or to the people right now. What do we do? For example, I like to go back to it. You have the School of Pharmacy that training pharmacists. You have the School of Medicine that training doctors. You have the teachers training school. You have the agriculture school. I remember agriculture under the late President Doe was almost a tuition-free school. All you had to do was just go to agriculture. But the thing about it is, there is no tenure agreement with the government. When you graduate from agriculture school, what is your tenure of agreement? If you graduated from AMWT school, what is the tenure of agreement? When you graduate from the pharmacy school, what is the tenure of agreement? Tenure of agreement means what is your service tenure? You sign no paper to work for the government when you go to this institution. You sign nothing at all. A school becomes free. People go to school. When they graduate, they go on private, they go on their own. They don't care. And who is responsible? Education minister. The education minister is responsible. Sign a paper with these people that obligate them to work for you for a certain number of years as assigned in whatever area you want them to work. In that case, our healthcare will be all over. You can build school, you can build hospitals and clinics in places that people will, but they will have to serve because they were educated free of charge by you. So what you want to do? How you want to make it work? It's difficult. When there is no accountability, when there is nobody picking up the slack, when nobody holding, nobody responsible, how do you want it to work? How do you want it to work? You want to educate people? You want to have educated people with no responsibility to the government and the people, because why? There is no signed agreement and they can do what they want to do. So we're going to have all these people educated on taxpayers' money. What are they going to do for the government in which area? You see, there's always an area of specification. Medical school is a specified area. Pharmacy school is a specified area. Teachers are a specified area. So you will be able to work with those people. Look, I mean, yes, they may guess he graduated with from the teachers college university, or he has a C certificate from the teacher training or institution. It's able you will be able to assign this man in areas where you will build school. So this is how you're gonna work for the next 4 or 5 years. After 5 years of service, you're free to go where you want to go. But this is your place of assignment for 4 or 5 years. This is your place. In that case, the person has a mentality. The person has a mindset because that's where he is assigned. If the person abandon a job, you catch them and you let them go. You see, that's the problem with Liberia. That's the problem with us Liberians. We don't like to see facts. We don't like to know facts. We often want to just blame everybody for something. Okay? That's how we are. We don't want to take a responsibility. The only thing with the university, I have no problem with the university being free. I have no problem with the university being qualified the education system of the university. Qualified it. If it is qualified, I got no problem with you. Whatever quality you put on it is good for me. That's what I'm saying. And that's what we all need to be looking for. Quality. Quality of our school. Not only quality, but we need free education for the start free education with the elementary and the early education people, the early education kids. Start free education. Make it free from there. Work on junior high, work on senior, but we need more schools. One school per district is insignificant. Looking at the number of people, even though we are not, we need to go back. There's a lot of things that need revision. There's a lot of things that need revision. There's a lot of things we need to work on. Okay? There's a lot of things we need to work on. We need to build up our school system. We need to create a system of our schooling. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not our school system. We're not moving on. Okay? So we are stuck in it. Okay? The government need to provide this thing. If it's free, it will become compulsory. And I can't be living right next to a school and my children are not going to school. I can't. It becomes difficult for me. And my child will have to go to school. My child will be there. So, but first of all, we need to qualify our education before we make it free. Qualified education and then make it free. Subsequently, make it free. It's difficult. Okay? It's not me. I'm not the one. This law says if the child does not meet the compulsory attendance record, the parent will be written. If the parent cannot comply, the parent is going to be charged with a misdemeanor. I didn't write it. I didn't write it. I'm only reading what is in the Constitution, what is in the law. I'm only reading what is in the law. That's all I am doing, reading what is in the law. I know some of you guys don't like it. I know some of you guys don't want to hear it, but that's why it is. I'm reading what is in the law. Okay? That's all. Now, listen at this. Let me put something up. Let me put something up for you to see. Look. I wonder if I can. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. It says, this is a junior section. It says, education at this level, which comprises of the first 3 years of schooling at the secondary level, 7, 8, and 9, shall be compulsory for all children. That means who make it? Compulsory for all children. How can you compulsory if it's not available? Now, this is what I've been talking about all day. Each county is required to have at least one public junior secondary school per district. One public junior secondary school per district. Oh, my people. You know, this carried me into looking into the district. People, we need to get a lot of things into our system. A lot of things to get off, and it's not easy when you have to talk and educate ourselves on things that we need to know. Okay, on the things that we need to know. It is not an easy thing. Okay, it's not an easy thing. I understand that. It's hard. It's very hard. If you consider things in certain perspective, it is very, very difficult to understand or to perceive why people will think the way they think. Okay, but it's I'm getting to understand where we come from as Liberians. I'm getting to understand where we come from as Liberians, and it kind of like interesting that it's interesting when you look at people and people think that what you're saying is all hate, because people think it's all hate. When people think it's all hate, it stop it stop the it stop the enthusiasm, and it reduces us to certain things that we should not be. I'm going up the meditation website, and there are a couple of things I'm going to be pointing out there. A couple of things I'm going to be pointing out there from this website. Uh, yeah. Okay. Let me bring it up. Good. This is the Ministry of Education website. If you got a time, go there. Ministry of Education mission statement. It says the mission of the Ministry of Education is to provide what? Is to provide what? Yeah, is to provide what? Quality education. That's what they say, to provide quality education for all and prepare future leaders to and prepare who are capable of handling the tasks of nation building, protecting our national heritage, and enhancing social economic growth and development for the sustenance of the Liberian state. And they not say anything about qualification. They qualified it. Now they're talking about quality education, and because I attach quality education to all levels of our education, people are not willing to listen. You're not willing to listen. And people think that, oh, the government is doing good and giving people cell phone, and giving guys cell phone. Look, cell phone doesn't improve the quality of the education. No, it does not. How many schools have we built in the past years? In the past 12 years, how many schools have we built? We have not built any schools. We're not building schools. When I say we, I'm talking about the government. I'm not talking about private institution. I don't care. Private institution is for profit making. How many schools have we built? We have not built schools, and because we have not built schools, we have not even enhanced the education level of the schools that we got. The quality is not there. The quality is not there. Now, look at the philosophy. This is the philosophy of the Liberian education system. Okay? It says, and that these, look, it says that we live in the 21st century education system. What is the 21st century education system? My brother, we are talking about the cyber world. We are talking about the technological world. We are talking about where they go to school, they sit. Just imagine the coronavirus, and the children were home, yet and still being engaged by the teachers at their homes. So they had lessons, they had school online. That's technology. Even when you take that away, the kids were going to school. My daughter was going to school, and she was a queen. Chromebook from the school. Now, we have to make sure that she doesn't damage that Chromebook. We have to make sure that she takes care of that Chromebook, because if we get them, we got to pay for it. So we have a responsibility to making sure that it works. So what it is, where is the 21st education system in the University of Liberia? Where is it? Where is the 21st education system? Where is the library? Where is the library? Where is the online library that you can say, oh, the children got access to online library? No. We are talking about the 21st education. They say that is the philosophy. They believe in the 21st. So which government school? Tottenham High, the Tottenham High? Oh, I mean the Tottenham High is Charles D.B. King. Charles D.B. King. Oh no, that lead on demonstration. Where is the system? Where is it? Where is it? Where is the government school that you can say is living up to the 21st century education system? Where is it? You don't have money to invest into high school, but you got money to pay college students school fee. Look, you won't go to school, college, pay your school fee. If you can't pay your school fee, don't go to college. Go do a trade. Go do a trade. College, university is not cheap. University is not cheap. Okay? For $4 an hour, you are saying you can't do it. You can't do it for $4 an hour. This has nothing to do with opposition. This has everything to do with your mentality. If I pay for an hour, I can make demand. If I go in there free, I can make demand. I cannot demand. It's free. Beggars can be choosers, and choosers can be beggars. If you will choose, if you want to make a choice, you got to pay for it. If you go to beg, you can't tell someone, say, no, my man, please give me $5. The man says, I'm giving you $5, I'm giving you $1. That's what he won't give you. You can't go back and make a demand. You don't have a choice. When you're asking, you ask, it got to be open. My man, please give me $5. Yeah. The man say, I don't got $5. The man got $5. Then he say, okay, my man, just give me anything but a rough, give me something. Anything the man put in your pocket, he gave you beg. You beg for it. But if you want to make a choice, you go to the man who employ you. You say, look, I work, where's my pay? He has to pay you what you agreed upon before you started your work. So when you pay for something, you demand, when you go to the store and you put your hand in your pocket and you say, look, I want that order. They say $10, you put $10 down. You take what you want for your $10. You take what you want for your $1. Because why? You pay for it. When you go there, say, my man, please give me that bottle there. The man said, no. He said, I can't get you that one. That one I can't get you. That one I can get you the other one because it almost expired. You got to take it because you're a beggar. So when people sit down and say, look, when you're begging, you can't be true. You can't make a choice. Beggars cannot make choices. You see, people cannot make choices. So when you decide that you decide that you want something free, you must realize that it's going to be free, and you cannot decide what to get free. It left with the people's conscience. The person who you're asking, it left with their conscience to give you quality, but it also left with that person's conscience to deny you what you want because it's free. Because it's free. But in the case of Constitution, in the case of our education system, since that we know the word have attached and is considering education as a right. As a right, it has been infused as a right for the people. The people have the right to be educated. And because of that, we need to subscribe. We need to provide education for the people as a government. And our education must be competitive with the private education. Those who are going to pay for it. If we can compete with them, like in us, Tottenham High and PWI compete with any school, convent, or importance during the days, CWA, MC, those schools of credibility, and Tottenham High, PWI, Newport Junior High, who stand up those schools and defeat them intellectually. They could defeat those schools. But why? because they were given everything. You could go to Tottenham High, graduate from Tottenham High, decided not to not go to college, and you could live on the trade that you learned from Tottenham High, BWR. Today, you can hardly go to any other schools because nobody want to put in the resources to uplift the people who go to those schools. The government is not living up to its responsibility, but they want to pay school fee for high school for college graduate for college student. What happened with what happened with the trade school? Why don't we go back to that? Okay. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that education is a fundamental right of our people. Fundamental right, which means we need to educate, we need basic education. We need to make basic education free. Free. Look, education, health, agriculture, those are three cardinal things that make any country independent and can say, I can verse on my own thing and I can say something. People, it sickens me. And I'm being honest with you, if the legislature does not, if the Senate does not restructure that bill and pass that bill as is, trust me, it's going to be a devastating disaster for our education system. It's going to be a devastating disaster for our education system because if that bill is not structured to the point where it's only going to allow, again, I'm emphasizing, it's only going to allow the paying of wire fees for 9th and 12th graders. I am going to tell you the fact our education system, public education system, going to be a devastating fact. It's going to be a disgrace. Presently, schools are being closed all around Liberia because of lack of teachers, because of lack of facilities, and we're still sitting down and acting as though we do. But the education ministry say it believes in the 21st century education. Where are we going, people? Where are we going? That's a ministry of education. There's a ministry of education website. I know. I'm not seeing anything from me. This is a ministry of education website. This is the website. Look at the mission statement. Look at the philosophy. Go back. Take your time. Read it. Read it and then consider the bill as it's being passed, as it's being proposed. And tell me if you don't have a heartache, an opinion. People, I come today and saying that the policy, this bill undermines our law and constitution. It does not. You see, it's not in violation of the constitution. It's undermining the constitution. Why is it undermining the constitution? It says that the government is responsible to provide. It says that the government is responsible to provide education for the people. But it provides education. The only education is concentrating on for being free education for the people is the upper level education, not the lower level, where you got more people. We got more children than we have adults, but those children are not supposed to be freely educated. It's the adults that are to be freely educated. Again, I want to thank you for following us. I want to thank you for listening to us. We want to just say thanks for coming along. We've come to the end, and I'm sorry I did not post the number. Um, I know that I should have posted the number. I think I was just too much captivated in the talking arena that I did not post the number. Uh, notwithstanding, I'm hoping that we um, I hope that, well, I didn't want to do this, but I think in my leaving aspect, um, we will just have to tell you thank you. I may open tomorrow just for question and answer, and I will be accepting questions and answering them on as I'll be looking at some other contemporary issue. But for right now, let me just stick and stay with what I know, what I've done best.
Okay, let me just thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again on another day. Again, we shall meet again. Have a nice day, and God bless you as we go. Again, my Liberian people, your thanks for listening. Thanks for following. Share the video. If you did not sit through the video, listen to it later on. If you sat through the video, share it so somebody else may benefit. Until then, have a good day and be blessed.